When it comes to Quentin Tarantino, I wouldn't consider myself a fan, not under the circumstance that I'm not a big fan of his movies, but because of the fact that I've rarely seen any of them. The only ones that I know that were made by Tarantino were Pulp Fiction, which I like, and The Django Unchained. I think those two are really good movies, and based from what I've seen from those two movies, is over the top action, over the top dialogue and drama, and I kind of like that to some degree. Honestly, compared like I'm not gonna say that from that like this movie is the best one from all of his movies, but from the ones that I've seen, Pulp Fiction and The Django Unchained, I tend to lean a little bit more towards the Django because of the fact that it's kind of like historical fiction type of movie with some elements of a western sort of. I mean that's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying the Django is the best out of the Tarantino films, but I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, I read articles about the movie talking about how social justice warriors on the left. We're talking about how Tarantino is an offensive movie writer, and Tarantino is like, I don't care about what you guys think. I'm making a movie because it's entertainment. It's not political, right? And it basically was just a bunch of drama leading up to the movie. I still haven't seen it, but apparently Bruce Lee has a little bit of an appearance in the movie, and like I said, to some degree, apparently there's some commotion because a relative is now criticizing Tarantino over how Bruce Lee is portrayed in the movie. Now, when it comes to movies, it depends, right? Like I wouldn't say it depends. I wouldn't say it depends. I know it's a little vague, but when it comes to movies, I started now we start seeing a lot of people, especially with the liberals and the left, and all these people trying to involve politics in these movies. They start saying now video games and movies they need to be they need to represent a little better when it comes to the real world. Like basically, video games and movies they need to depict the real world in a better way. Because coming from a Hispanic, a minority, so if you're gonna try to pull the racist card, if you're a liberal or social justice warrior watching this video, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm a Hispanic, and I think that type of mentality is really, really annoying. And not to mention, it's a really bad idea. Because think about it. The real world is not the best thing. It's full of bad people. It's full of horrible people that we hate. It's full of a stressful job sometimes. Your day's stressful. Sometimes your week is stressful. We want to find something that we can escape from the real world for just a little bit. Granted, I'm not saying that you should go watch a movie every single day or play video games 24/7. No, 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 no. That's still a little unhealthy. But I think that when someone comes home from work stressed out because they had a bad day, dealing with a crappy coworker, or let's say dealing with a crappy client, I playing a video game for an hour or two is really relieving because you step away for a moment from all the horrible things in life and you enjoy watching a movie or playing a video game because we know it's not real. I go to the movies, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people go to the movies to escape to escape our problems for a few hours. I'm pretty sure some people go play video games or do something else, like something that is not part of the real world, some form of entertainment to forget about our problems for a bit. Now, I'm not saying you should run away from them, but I'm talking about, alleviate some of that stress, right? I don't go to go watch a John Wick movie, for example, when it came to Chapter 3. I didn't go to watch John Wick Chapter 3 to see how realistic it was. No, I went to watch John Wick 3 because I like Keanu Reeves, I like the John Wick movies, and it's a good form of entertainment. It's a good way to immerse myself into a different kind of world that I know is not real. Therefore, I can enjoy watching a movie knowing that it's not real and enjoy at least an hour or an hour and a half or 2 hours knowing that this thing is good for me and I don't have to worry about any politics or any nonsense or any drama in the real world. I don't have to worry about any of that. When I come home from work stressed out, because I deal with a crappy coworker today, I mean, I'm not gonna mention who, but that happens sometimes. I'm pretty sure all of us have to deal with a crappy coworker at times when we go to work. But when I come home stressed out, I'm angry because I deal with a crappy coworker. Wait, what do? I turn on my Xbox or my PS4, whichever what kind of mood I'm feeling, and I play God of War on my PS4. I play Red Dead Redemption 2, and yes, I've actually finished that campaign like 4 times because that's I'm like it's a good stress reliever. Video games for me are a good stress reliever, and I tell you right now, I'm not a hardcore gamer per se. It's a big hobby, sure, but I also I go walk sometimes. I go to the gym sometimes. But whenever I don't have that much time to go to the gym, or I don't want to waste gas, or want to waste my or want to waste valuable resources going to a gym because again it's time consuming. Sure, I have to go there, find a parking spot, then get changed and all that nonsense. If it's not too late, if it's past 7, I usually go play a video game for at least, and I usually play it for at least 2 hours. Because again, I'm not a guy who's gonna play like 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. I'm not that kind of guy. But I usually play a game until I'm essentially I relieve all my stress. Once I relieve all my stress, that's when I start to get a little bored sometimes. Not really bored, but I get a little tired of playing the game and I'm thinking, you know what, I think I'm good. And I stop. Same thing with a movie. I'll watch John Wick or John Wick Chapter 2, I'll watch The Matrix, or I'll watch Toy Story 1 through 3. It doesn't matter. But I want to get away from the real world to for a little bit in order for me to at least enjoy it, right? So again, when it comes to this depiction, I haven't read the article yet, but I read the title and I thought I was like, this should be good. I grew up with Bruce Lee. Obviously, I wasn't born at a time when he was alive. I would have loved to, but unfortunately, tragedies happen. Very, very talented people, very, very good people die too young, or they get taken away from us. It's sad, really. But I grew up watching movies of Bruce Lee, watching movies of Jackie Chan and Jet Li, and then Jean-Claude Van Damme. They're action movies. They're over the top. They're supposed to. Sure, the action movie stars are not going to be reloading their guns in a realistic fashion, but who cares? It's an action movie. Quentin Tarantino, based on what I've seen in the 2 movies that I've seen, it's clear that he's not a guy who's taking things serious. He's not a guy who's saying like, oh, this is how things really are. Like, no. But let's read the article, shall we? And I'm going to also bring up another movie where it involves, the internet's favorite boyfriend and how he depicts himself in this movie. But let's first read the article. The title reads, Quentin Tarantino defends Hollywood. Depiction of Bruce Lee. He was kind of an arrogant guy. Obviously, the video is provided, but I don't want to play it because I do not want to get copyright striked or any copyright. And I don't want to get into trouble pretty much. Here it is. Quentin Tarantino defended his portrayal of Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood after Lee's daughter, Shannon Lee, said the portrayal of her father was disheartening and uncomfortable. In an exclusive interview with The Wrap, Shannon Lee objected Tarantino for portraying Lee as an arrogant a-hole, but speaking to reporters in Moscow on Monday, Tarantino said his portrayal was fair. Bruce Lee was kind of an arrogant guy, Tarantino told reporters. The way he was talking, I didn't just like the way... I didn't just make a lot of that up. I heard him say things like that to that effect. In the film, Brad Pitt's stuntman character, Cliff Booth, trades cocky insults with Bruce Lee. At one point, Lee is prodded into saying he could beat Muhammad Ali. The exchange leads to a 2 out of 3 rounds fight between the pair, in which Lee easily knocks Booth down in the first round, only to be slammed into a car by Booth in the second. The fight is interrupted before the 3rd round. I understand that they want to make the Brad Pitt character this super badass who could beat up Bruce Lee, but they didn't need to treat him in a way that White Hollywood did when he was alive, Shannon Lee said. Okay, White Hollywood, we're involved in politics now, but whatever. Let's keep going. He comes across as an arrogant asshole who was full of hot air, she said, and not someone who had to fight triple as hard as any of those people did to accomplish what it was naturally given to so many others. Tarantino said Lee's boast in the film that he could beat Ali came from reading a biography written by Lee's widow Linda in 1975. If people are saying, well, he never said he could beat up Muhammad Ali, well, yeah, he did, said Tarantino. All right, not only did he say that, but his wife Linda Lee said that in her first biography I ever read. She absolutely said that. In a 1987 biography of Lee written by Robert Klaus, who directed Lee in Enter the Dragon, said that Lee said the exact opposite. Klaus said that during Ali's reign as heavyweight champion, Bruce closely studied the boxer's moves, even setting up a projection screen opposite a wide mirror so that he could imitate the motions of Ali made during his title fights. Bruce knew he could never win a fight against Ali, Klaus wrote. Look at my hand, he said. That's a little Chinese hand. He'd kill me. Matthew Pauly, author of Bruce Lee Alive, said on Twitter that Tarantino was likely referencing Linda Lee, quoting a critic. He cited a passage from Linda Lee's Bruce Lee, the man only I knew. Even the most scathing critics admitted that Bruce's gung fu was sensational. One critic wrote, "Those who watched him would bet on Lee to render Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali, senseless if they were put in a room and told that anything goes." Tarantino said that he depicted Bruce Lee getting beaten up by Cliff Booth to establish Booth as a dangerous individual. It's a fictional character. If I say Cliff can beat Bruce Lee up, he's a fictional character, so he could beat Bruce Lee up. The reality of the situation is this. Cliff is a Green Beret. He has killed many men in World War II and hand-to-hand combat. What Bruce Lee is talking about in the whole thing is that he admires warriors. He admires combat. And boxing is a close approximation of combat as a sport. Cliff is not part of the sport that is like combat. He is a warrior. He's a combat person. And then, here's watch Tarantino's remarks in the clip above. But look, like I said, I haven't seen the movie, but I'm a huge fan of Bruce Lee. I've seen the way he acts in his movies. He's very charismatic. He's always like, he can rile you up. He can pump you up. And I think that's where the confusion is. Charisma versus, I would say hot air. You could say hot air or, egomania, right? Like the guy's full of himself or a large ego. I think that's a very huge confusion. But like I said, movies are not meant to be taken seriously. And a lot of people do that. Why do I say that? Because look, Bruce Lee, the guy, from what I've seen, from what I've read, the guy is a nice guy. I look up to Bruce Lee. I grew up watching his movies. I have always wished that I could be as good of a martial artist as Bruce Lee. Even as a kid, I told my dad, "Can I join a karate class or any martial art?" I wanted to take martial arts classes as a kid because of Bruce Lee. If Bruce Lee was badass, beating all these bad guys up, I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to be like Bruce Lee. Now again, that was just a little kid's dream, but that's how inspirational Bruce Lee was towards a person like me. And like I said, the guy was very charismatic, so you could say it's a little bit of a misunderstanding. But again, this is an entertainment movie. It's a fictional movie. It's not meant to be taken seriously. From what I read in this article, I can tell that this is not something that happened in the real world. It's meant to be an over-the-top movie. Not to mention Tarantino is a guy that apparently from what I've seen is a little bit over the top when it comes to his action scenes and his dialogue. I mean, look at the Django Unchained. That little scene, not really a little scene, I would call it like a big scene when Django is literally fighting off, like all those guards in Candyland, in other words, in Calvin Candy's mansion. There's blood everywhere. There's a bunch of gunfire, people screaming, and I'm thinking, holy shit, this is really gory. But that's what I got from Tarantino. The guy's over the top. But here's the thing, look, like I said, Bruce Lee, very nice guy from what I've seen. Maybe a little charismatic, could be confused for a little bit of, having a huge ego, but it's entertainment. It's not meant to be taken serious. It's not meant to be real. A good example of this. The reason why I brought up the little bit of a nod towards the movie, so I mentioned this in an earlier video, but I'm talking about a movie called Always Be My Maybe. Keanu Reeves makes a little bit of a cameo. I wouldn't consider it a cameo because he's in there for at least a good 5 minutes of the movie, but he ends up dating one of the main characters. Now, Keanu Reeves, he's known for being as this, this guy that's very nice, very friendly, very lovable, very charismatic, right? But in the movie, he's kind of more like of a low-key jerk. He's nice, but he says mean things that sound kind of nice, you know what I mean? Kind of like when he says, like when Keanu Reeves says, we paid the bill for the restaurant, and, Marcus tells him, well, you didn't even give me a chance to fight you for it, basically to pay for the bill. And then Keanu was like, well, it's $6,400, and I figured it's a little bit above your pay grade and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So he's pretty much saying, I don't think you have enough money to pay for it. Kind of like that, right? But he says it in a nice way. Keanu Reeves obviously isn't like that in the real world, right? But again, it's a movie. It's fiction. It's supposed to be over the top. Especially in a comedy like Always Be My Maybe, it's meant to be over the top. Keanu Reeves is literally being over the top, kind of low-key jerk kind of guy. But again, it's fiction. I don't think Keanu Reeves is like that in the real world. And the contrary, based on what I've seen, based on his life stories, all these biographies and articles, hell, if he were to tell me, if in the movie he said, I'm a huge jerk, I'm an asshole, I'd be like, Keanu Reeves, you're drunk, go home. Okay? Same thing with Bruce Lee. From what I've read, Bruce Lee, very nice guy. Obviously, he was a very hardworking guy. Started from, literally from the bottom, and now he became a huge sensation. Sadly, he wasn't able to basically live a long life because, he ended up because of health conditions. But, like I said, from what I've seen, the guy's a very nice guy. And this is solely entertainment. And I'm kind of sick and tired of people talking about how the movies and the video games, they need to provide a better representation of the real world. And I say no. No. I watch movies, I play video games, I read a novel or fiction because I want to escape the real world for a little bit. For an hour or for 30 minutes. That's what I want. I do not want to go watch a movie and then see about, LGBTQ or, Mexicans oppressed or minorities oppressed. No. If you want to include minorities or LGBTQ characters, fine. But at least let me know that it's just still entertainment and not literally me paying $15 to see the real world on the big screen. I don't want to see that. I'm pretty sure none of us want to see that. Entertainment is a way for us to escape our troubles for a short period of time. But like I said, Tarantino, Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Because again, Bruce Lee is very charismatic, and when people are charismatic, some people who don't seem to, who have a bad opinion of them, they tend to say, oh, they have a huge ego and all that kind of stuff. Like for example, like I said, maybe it's a misunderstanding. But again, it's entertainment. It's entertainment. I don't take. If I were to watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and I saw Bruce Lee acting like a jerk, I'll probably laugh. I'll be like, holy shit, okay, this is actually pretty interesting. But I wouldn't take it seriously. I wouldn't take it like, damn, Bruce Lee was like that. Oh my god, maybe I shouldn't watch his movies anymore. Jesus Christ. Of course not. I have the mental capacity to understand, hey, this is fiction. This is a guy that is known for his over-the-top movies. I shouldn't take this seriously. But then there's those people who take everything seriously, and that lies the problem. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think Tarantino is right in the sense that he has a right to defend? Not even has a right. Do you think he's right in his defense of saying that his depiction of Bruce Lee is a fair one? Not the right one, but a fair one? Do you think that, Shannon Lee, the daughter of Bruce Lee, do you think she has a right? Do you think she is right to be outraged of how her father was depicted? Like I said, my heart goes out to her, and again, Bruce Lee, I'm a huge fan of Bruce Lee. I grew up watching his movies, but again, it's a comedy. Now, if it had it been a historical biography, like an actual biopic, then we're a little bit, now we're talking, a whole different story. You're talking about a biopic, not a comedy or an over-the-top comedy or whatever. We're talking about a biopic. Now, that's a different story. We're just talking about like a huge over-the-top movie. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think Shannon Lee is right to be mad at Tarantino for how he decided to portray her father, Bruce Lee? Do you think Tarantino is right in the sense that he chose to portray Bruce Lee like that, and he has every right to do so? It's his movie to some degree, sure. He directed it. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys also think that movies should continue to be just a fictionalized world for entertainment purposes only? Or do you think the movies and the video games and the entertainment industry in general should depict the real world a lot more than it is right now? Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, hit the like button. Share the video. That's the best thing you can do because YouTube chooses to derank independent political commentary. I don't know if they're gonna direct this one. I kind of did mention how some political individuals, not political individuals, political factions. But I don't know, it might get ranked, maybe not. But if you like this video, the best thing you can do is just share, like the video. If you think your friends or your relatives should listen to me talk about, news articles and drama pertaining to Hollywood or politics, then I appreciate it if you would share it. But you can also subscribe and hit the notification bell as well, that we never miss an upload. But in all sincerity, guys, if you can, comment down in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about this situation. Like I said, I'm a Bruce Lee fan, but I also recognize when something is not supposed to be taken seriously. And knowing Tarantino from the 2 movies that I've seen, I don't think this depiction should be taken to heart. I mean, I would get a chuckle out of it if I saw it in the movies, but unfortunately, I have money to save for other movies that I want to watch. But let me know what you guys think. All right, you guys, have a good rest of the day. And this is gonna be the last article for today. I know I said the last one was the previous one that I uploaded was the last one, but this one, it just came to me as a surprise, and I had time to do it. So hope you guys got a kick out of this one. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. All right, you guys, have a good rest of the day. And if depending on time zone you're watching, good night or good morning, regardless, stay awesome.